What's up, Travel Tribe? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in to Chatting with Travelanista. Today I'm going to be coming to you guys with what are the benefits of a travel agent versus what are the benefits of you just booking your travel on your own. So, as a travel agent, for those of you who did not know, Travelanista is also a travel agent. I have a few things that I want to throw out there just so you guys can have an idea of when it may be most appropriate to use a travel agent. So first up on that list, we have convenience. And so everyone knows that planning a trip actually takes a bit of amount of time. Even if you're planning a solo trip, it's still going to take you some time. And if you're planning a group trip, it's definitely going to take you some time. So when it comes to the travel agent, you're really looking at the fact that you have the convenience of just saying, hey, this is the type of trip that I'm looking for. Maybe this is even the destination. This is my budget. And then it's the travel agent's job to use all of that information and really just kind of figure out what your best options are. Second on the list, we have expertise. Now, as a travel agent, and as an avid traveler, I have a myriad of experience when it comes to traveling to different destinations, whether near or far, and what you need to do when you're traveling to those specific destinations. Also, I'm usually up to date with the latest trends. I'm going to be up to date with any travel advisories and things like that you as a client shouldn't really have to worry about. You should really just be able to say, hey, I want to go on this trip, and then that's it. You just pack your bags and go. Whereas if you are traveling alone or you're not using a travel agent, you're going to have to be responsible for that research. And if you haven't watched some of my previous videos, you should go back and check those out because I talk about the importance of actually mapping out your destinations, knowing where you're going to be staying at, and things of that nature. And so that is something else that as a travel agent, we're going to research for you. And if you have any additional questions or concerns about the destinations, then we can answer those questions for you also. Third on the list, we have personalized service. And this is some of my clients' favorite, right? Because they can actually call me at any time during their trip. They can even call me after the trip. And of course, you can call me before the trip if you have any questions or concerns. And so it's really being able to have someone at your fingertips. And I'm not going to say at a moment's notice because there are business hours that do apply for travel agents also. However, you have a direct source that you can literally reach out to, whether you would like to have champagne in your room when you arrive, if you would like to have a cold towel when you arrive, if you would like late checkout. There are just so many different things and so many different ways that you can personalize your trip. Even down to transportation. If you want transportation scheduled for you, that is something that travel agents do as well. So again, any kind of personal touch that you would like to have on your trip, this can be arranged way before you get there, and that is super duper convenient also. And coming in at number 4, we have assistance. So again, a travel agent is going to be able to be at your disposal, and that means they're going to be at your disposal during the trip, they're going to be at your disposal after the trip, and of course they'll be at your disposal before the trip. So any type of pressing questions that you have, maybe they're not even pressing questions, maybe you'd like to know specific hotel is serving during your stay. Maybe you'd like to know what's nearby in terms of local food. Maybe you'd like to know what the weather is going to be. Yes, you technically can look at that yourself, but as a travel agent, I do not mind giving you that information. And as a matter of fact, I have to look at that information so that I can let you all know if it's even the best season to go to the place that you're requesting to go to. So again, we travel agents just serve as a wealth of knowledge, but right at your fingertips instead of you actually having to do this research yourself, right? Even if you have a last minute request and you're like, hey, I would like to add such and such excursion to my trip, or hey, I forgot to add transportation. I would be able to do that for you, and any other travel agent should be able to do that for you as well. So you really do not have to worry about anything on your trip except for having a great time. When you're looking to use a travel agent, Yes, there is a fee, right? Because a lot of times people say, oh, I don't want to use a travel agent because there is a fee associated. And there is a fee associated. However, this fee is going to allow you to have the convenience of having all the things that you need in terms of questions being answered, in terms of arrangements being made. You're not going to have to worry about that. And I'm going to give you all a little nugget that you may or may not have known. As travel agents, we have access to so many different prices. We have access to so many different vendors that the general population does not have access to. So while you may feel that you are spending money on the front end for the travel agent fee, you're actually saving a ton of money on the back end, because the rate that we're booking your rooms at, the rate that we're booking your transportation at, and so on and so forth, it is a completely different rate. It is much more reduced than the rate that you see when you get on these third-party websites. Because another thing that you guys may not have known is that the third-party websites are assessing fees. They just aren't you all just don't see them on the front end. They're in the back. They're on the back end. Those are the things. Those are the reasons that you would definitely want to use a travel agent. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. All right, guys. So now we're going to be moving into when it may be more beneficial for you to book travel yourself. If you have the patience, that is. If you have the capacity, that is. So first up on the list, we have cost. And like I mentioned previously, when you are looking at the cost of a trip where you are booking yourself, you're like, okay, this may be cheaper because I don't have to pay the travel agent fee. And you are correct about that. However, again, like I said, you may want to compare and contrast. If you know a local travel agent, now you know me, you can reach out personally to kind of see how much it would be, because again, the cost of your trip may turn out to be cheaper when you're using a travel agent, so it may kind of balance out. But again, compare and contrast, and compare the travel agent rates with how much the whole total trip will cost if you just book it by yourself, okay? So do your research, essentially. All right, number 2 on that list is control, right? So certain people or certain travel agents don't really give you a specific amount of control. I am not that type of travel agent. I want to do whatever it is that you have paid me to do. So at any time, you can request to make certain changes. However, there are specific things that can't be changed at the last minute, right? Say, for instance, like a flight. That cannot be changed at the last minute. But if it's any small, tiny detail change, I have no problem with you, as my client, the traveler, having total control over how you want your trip to be, because I am working for you at that point. So ultimately, the biggest and best thing, in my opinion, about booking with a travel agent is the experience, especially the Travelanista experience. So if you're one of my clients, literally from the time that you start the process all the way throughout the end, it should be a very painless, comfortable, convenient process where, again, all that you're having to do is supply me with what it is that you want to do, where it is that you want to go. You may not even be aware of the type of excursions that are around, but you have some interests and some hobbies. And if you give me your interests and your hobbies, then it is my job to actually figure out what would suit you in that area, okay? And then at that point, it's a situation where you may be privy to some free tours. You may actually have a little sprinkle of some cool Travelanista merch that's in your bag. You just never know what's going to pop in, and that Travelanista merch will definitely be helpful for whatever type of trip you're doing. So again, you want to make sure that you have an experience when you're actually booking with a travel agent. You just want to relax and literally enjoy the process of showing up. All right, so number 3 on the list is the research. And if you're booking by yourself, you are literally in the position to research as broad as you'd like to regarding the different places that you're traveling to and regarding all the activities, transportation, etc. However, you have to know how to do research. Research is not just as simple as going into Google, Obviously, Google does allow you to just type something in, but it gives you so much information, and sometimes you can miss some things, or sometimes you can use wrong keywords that will not get you the correct or the most accurate or the most up-to-date information. So if you are going to research, just make sure you know how to research, because you do have more control over the research when you do it yourself. But you must be a good researcher. It is not just as simple as going into Google and popping a question in. All right, and last up on that list for my travel tribe is it's empowering to actually plan your own travel, right? And the more that you do it, the better you will become. So sure, it may be a bit exhausting or a little tedious to you in the beginning, but as you continue to move throughout your travel journey, you will get better at this. It may start to come to you a little easier. So if you are going to try to book travel for yourself, continue to book it over and over and over again if you like it anyway, and you will get better and you'll feel good about it, and you'll be able to share some jewels and gems with your people like I share with you. So, all right, guys, that does it for today's segment. There you have it. When you should use a travel agent, a couple of benefits of using a travel agent versus when you may want to book for yourself. I hope that helped you all. If you have any more questions, any type of concerns, please feel free to drop that in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.